Just checking if I'm live. I'm not actually sure where this OBS window has gone. That actually shows me where the feed is. But it says I'm live. So let me check on YouTube. Hello, hello, welcome. Um, I think I'm live on the right channel. That would be important. So if I go to the live tab on YouTube, there it is. Okay, I see that. Hey, welcome. Let me open up this view room thingy. And if you're watching the vlog or if you're watching the VOD later, do leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. And yeah, welcome as well. So I wanted to run through a couple of ideas that I've been thinking about, that I've been pondering, that I've been just observing in the world around me. And forgive me if there's a little bit of crackling sounds. I'm trying to arrange this microphone so that it's either visible or it is held by something. I don't want to leave it just on the floor, on the table. But okay, maybe I can do this. Just hold it there, and yeah, it's a power bank that I'm looking at now. Okay, that's fine. I'm currently in Da Nang. I'm in in Da Nang in Vietnam. I don't know why I said Ho Chi Minh City. No, I'm not in Ho Chi Minh City. I'm in Vietnam, in Da Nang, a city called Da Nang. It is July 5th, and yeah, I'm in a hotel, having a good time, enjoying the food, enjoying the weather. Although it is raining, I'm pretty sure you can see the gloomy night behind me. But that's why I thought let me go live. I was outdoors in the city today, just walking around, doing my thing, trying to navigate around just food and a bunch of stuff. And I had a couple of thoughts, and so I thought, okay, instead of like recording a video and editing it and then just keeping that video sort of to edit and potentially having an editor go through all that, I figured let me rather just go live and let me see what's cooking on this YouTube channel as far as live viewers goes. So if you're watching, I see there's two of you watching. Welcome. Hit the like. Give me a comment. Let me know that you're there or you're here or you can hear me, or if there's any issues, whatever. Like if you have questions also, let me know. Give me a comment. But yeah, I wanted to go through sort of the state of vibe coding or vibe marketing, if you want to call it that. Maybe let me change the title to vibe marketing, because it's a very interesting um, time that we're living in right now. It's a very interesting phase of AI and where it's come from and how it works and how it fucks up and how it breaks sometimes. Excuse my language. And it's interesting. It's very useful. It's very resourceful, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. But it's also kind of frustrating, and I'll tell you why I find it frustrating as well. So, that being said, let's go into some of these topics or some of these pieces that I was thinking about today. So, as far as AI in marketing goes, so if we talk about marketing in general, marketing as a what is it, as an industry, as a niche, as a tool, as a thing that we have to do as business owners, as entrepreneurs, we have to do marketing so that we can attract our clients. Okay, we know that the premise of marketing is that it's to get leads, to find clients, and ultimately they become clients because they buy stuff from us, right? We want people to buy stuff from us, and the way we do that is we do that through marketing, and then sales, which is separate to marketing, takes over once the client has become a contact and we can actually get in touch with them and talk to them, right? So when we're doing marketing, there's three ways to do things online. There's uh, outreach, right, which I'm not going to talk about right now. I could, but I'm not using AI for outreach. Outreach means basically we're sending emails to people, we're DMing people, um, not necessarily random people. Obviously, hopefully we built a list, or we're scraping people or finding people on LinkedIn and we're connecting with them, or we're cold emailing them if email addresses are available in public, right? So I'm not going to talk about that, although there is automation happening as far as cold emailing goes. What I want to talk about is the two other ways, right? So first is cold emailing. Second is content creation, which is what I'm doing right now with you guys. Content creation, we have to find topics, we have to find ideas, we have to publish content, write stuff, edit stuff, put stuff out, comment with our audience, build that audience, build a relationship, get people to click on our stuff, get people to comment, get them to engage, get them to do things that we want to do. That's content creation. And then there's advertising. So there's three ways that we can do marketing online. And when it comes to content creation, we know there's a lot of people, everybody, almost everybody, I think is using AI or using some version of AI, whether it's full, like relying totally on AI to actually create our content, publish blog posts, make videos, do all of these things, especially with VO3 and Midjourney updates and all of these things that is doing amazing stuff as far as images and video. Even ChatGPT doing amazing stuff with Sora and all of these things, right? It's really difficult to keep up. But content creation has become easier. And obviously, editing as well is now the game, right? Because we have to fact check, we have to make sure that AI is giving us the right stuff, giving us the right content. And if we don't do that, then we run the risk of just basically saying the wrong things in the feed. Then there's AI as its involvement in terms of, like, let's say, for example, there's a situation where we have comments and we've hired a virtual assistant, we've hired somebody on the content team to go through those comments, maybe a customer service, to go through those comments and to reply, to talk to our people. And sometimes comments are missed, sometimes comments are not understood well, sometimes comments are just not good. And so the way that we can use AI is to put the comments into ChatGPT, and then we get a sense as to, like, ChatGPT is going to help us out, because if ChatGPT knows our business, they know our vibe, it knows our vibe, it has this background, it has our niche, it has our customer profile, it has all of these things, then we can potentially leverage, and ChatGPT can help us. That's another use of AI in this type of a situation where we're using it for managing the audience or managing the content. Okay, then there's a part that I want to talk about, which is ads. Now, okay, so before I get into ads, as far as content creation goes, I want to finish this thought. Is there's more AI content, or there's going to be more AI content than human created content in general. And so that means, if it's not already. So that means that if we think about how ChatGPT is actually coming up with its content, the recommendations it gives us, the answers it gives us, right? It's giving us answers based on human interaction. And where does it get that human interaction, or where does it get that um, humanness? Where does it get the answers from the humans, right? Because right now it can't decide on its own, or it's getting to the point where it can decide on its own and create its own stories. But it's still relying on human related things because it needs to serve us. And so it's looking at places that are live, places that are living. For example, Quora and Reddit, because there's communities, there's active discussion, there's back and forth, there's arguments, there's contrast, there's all of these things going on in those places, right? Grok with Twitter or X is quite fascinating because it's literally learning from Twitter. It's learning from all of the discussions and learning from all of the things that are going on inside of Twitter. And so what that means is that it's being updated live by the discussions. Now, whether those are intelligent discussions or whether those discussions are factual is irrelevant, because what it's looking at, it's saying, okay, this is live, these are humans, these are verified humans maybe, and that's a source of content for them. YouTube as well is a source for AI because it can read the transcripts, it can see human expressions, it can listen to our audio, it can get a ton of data from background, the stuff that's in the background of my video, um, the way that I look, the way that my hair is cut, the way that my eyes are shaped, the way that my color is, all of these things, how I'm dressing, my facial reactions. It can learn from all of these minor, seemingly insignificant things. And so what that means is that from a content creation point of view, if so, going back, content creation, if most of the content is not created by humans, it's AI generated, then the AI is going to be more reliant on stuff that we are saying live, stuff that we are saying through written content, through these, on these forums and on these places. And so, if you ask ChatGPT, where do you get your information from and how up to date is your information, it's going to tell you. And this is what I'm saying, is that it's told me that it's looking at blog posts, it's looking at forums like Reddit and Quora, and it's looking at, apologies, it's looking at places like YouTube, because of the liveness, right? The comment section, and the fact that it's still hard to make AI video. But having said that, I mean, it's still obvious, it's still fairly visible with the naked eye as to whether it's AI or not. And trust me, the AI knows when whether it's AI created or not. So that's from a content creation point of view. How does it affect you in business? Well, in business, it actually should be easier. It potentially is easier for you to make content now than ever before, because coming up with ideas, getting research done, especially with these deep research suggestions and deep research ability. Like, I often sit down now when I'm having breakfast or when I'm writing my journal, and I'll have this thought of like, oh, I need to go. I wonder what's going on with this. Like, an example this morning was, I'm sitting here in Vietnam, in Da Nang, and there was this thought about why why is it not possible for me to use my credit card, my business credit card that's connected to my business bank account, to withdraw money from, like, a hotel, right? So, for example, I'm in Da Nang. I don't have Vietnamese dong. I have Thai baht, and I have my card, which is based in my card is connected to my U.S. bank account, my U.S. company account, and so I was like, why can't I just swipe my card and get Vietnamese dong? Like, how difficult is that? Surely there's a whole bunch of stuff. Like, obviously, there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens in the background where, like, the U.S. bank account is going to pay the local bank account, and the bank account is going to give it to the hotel or whatever the case may be. And sure, there's a whole lot of transactions that are happening in the background, but I don't care about those things. It's like, why can't I just get access to my money in the currency that I want it in? And apparently, that's not a thing. Like, it's not possible because there's potential where I asked AI this question. I said to ChatGPT, hey, why can I not do this? Why is it so difficult in Asia? In Thailand, I can't just swipe my card and get. I mean, obviously, I can go to the ATM and withdraw, but the fees are expensive, right? And then there are limits. I can't take out a certain amount of money. Like, if I needed a little bit more, like here in Vietnam, the limit is something like 2 million Vietnamese dong. And if I translate that quickly, if I convert that quickly, um, VND to US dollar, 2 million dong is like 76 US dollars. I mean, what can you do with 76 US dollars, right? Even if it was 5 million dong, is $190. like, okay, $190 can go a long way here, but I don't want to be going to the ATM like every day or two, every 2 days if I'm using cash. And this is a cash economy here in Da Nang, in Vietnam. So it's these kind of tricky things that come up when you travel, that you realize that some of our systems that we live with are outdated or don't cater for certain things because of the way that things are. And one of the explanations, one of the things that ChatGPT said to me was that it's too easy for people to cancel or dispute the transaction with the bank or their credit card company, and therefore the hotel loses out, or the business that you're dealing with to get that cash is affected. And so this is part of the challenge, is that people are going to game the system and they're going to use it to make money essentially. um, why is this important? Well, deep research was able to give me that answer in literally 5 or 7, maybe 10 minutes, while I was having coffee this morning and literally just taking a break in between me walking around Da Nang. It was something that I wanted to know. I asked the question, and I used deep research because I wanted it to go find sources. I wanted it to actually go find it, the answers, not just based on what it's been trained on, right? Because I wanted it to be updated information as of today. So that's what it gave me. Okay. The next part I want to talk about is advertising and how AI has affected advertising. So ads right now are in a weird spot as well, because Meta is giving us suggestions. If you've done any advertising on Meta, it gives us suggestions as to what the copy should be. And it also has the ability to give us images based on a source image. So you upload a source image, and then it has the ability to look at that image and then make changes, change the background, update the colors, give it a little bit of a 3D effect. It's a couple things that Meta can do that they've built into the ads manager when we're advertising. And so what that does then is it creates ads for us, but it also creates a situation where if our audience does not vibe with this AI generated content, then our ads are just not going to perform. So it's an interesting thing because I don't use any of that AI generated stuff on any of the clients that I work on. I think that the copy is not as accurate as I'd like it to, and even when I edit it, it kind of is hit and miss whether it's actually edited or not. So I just uncheck all of those boxes when I'm advertising. Sorry for the yawning, but it is late and I have had a little bit of a long day. If you're listening, if you're watching the live stream, please do comment. Let me know that you're watching and where you're listening from. So speaking about advertising, right? Meta's founder Mark Zuckerberg has said that he wants to invest. He's investing heavily in helping advertisers create this content that basically we're just going to be able to tell Meta what our product is, give Meta our product, and then it's going to go and create the content for us and potentially personalize those ads too. Which means that if we have, let's say, 100,000 variations or 50,000 variations that that it could create, it's going to go create those, and maybe we're not even going to have visibility of what the content, what the copy, what the videos, what the images are in the feed, like as it's showing to people. And so this is a challenge because it's like, as a marketer, as a copywriter, how how do we how do we make our advertise ads better, right? How do we make our offers better? How do we get people to click our ads? Is by actually looking at which copy works best, which images works best, and we optimize for those. Optimize means we cut the losers, we cut the ones that are not getting enough clicks or not getting enough conversions, depending on what the goal is of the campaign. Usually it's purchases or leads. If it's not getting any of those two, then how do we know which copy suggestions, which headlines, which text copy is actually working? And this is a big challenge because if we don't have visibility from Meta, and Meta knows this, like Zuckerberg knows that he's going to need to give us visibility into what the AI is created. We can't download the variations of the images with different backgrounds from Meta's platform. This is one of the things that is the reason that I don't use the AI platform, is because once that image is created for that particular ad, it's almost impossible to recreate it on a second ad. Like you can duplicate the ad, but there's no guarantee that that AI generated background or that AI generated image is going to be recreated the exact same way that it was done on the first time. So that's a challenge. Because yes, AI content does get clicks. There's this freaking gorilla that's going around, talking gorilla that's going around, it's going viral. Basically, any AI content right now is just hot off the press, and as soon as people are publishing hot, it's basically going viral. It's like it's nuts, and I feel like we're living in a time where content creation is a very interesting place. Now, vibe coding and vibe coding landing pages for marketing. Now, as far as vibe coding or vibe marketing goes, as it comes to landing pages, the landing pages that the AI creates is fascinating. It has very interesting designs. If you ask it to create split tests, it's going to give you copy. It's going to give you different designs. There are tools like V0, Bolt, Replit, Lovable. I haven't used Lovable, but I've heard all good things about it. It's popular, obviously. These tools have the ability to create designs, create landing pages that work, that can actually be published. And the challenge that I have is that most of my clients, or most of my, the businesses that I'm involved in, are using either Shopify, maybe WordPress. Was WordPress, I try to get them off WordPress, or they're using Webflow. I particularly use Webflow on my businesses, or they're using things like Kajabi or Thinkific, or ClickFunnels, or one of these page builders, right? Unbounce, etc., etc. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies, by the way. So if you're watching this video even later on, or you're watching the live stream, I'm not sponsored to say these companies' names, even ChatGPT or whatever. I'm not sponsored to say these things. This is impartial. I'm saying things out of my own free will. And so what this does is it gives us the ability to create these create these landing pages in a way that is very cool, right? We can make designs, we can make things now that maybe were not possible in a landing page builder, a visual landing page builder, like a no code type of a builder. And that's cool. Like we can visually look at it, right? Even Claude now has the ability to create landing pages or create a page using HTML or whatever, coding language. But taking that design, that code, and putting it into onto the platform that we're using, whether it's WordPress or Shopify or whatever tool that we're publishing on, with what we're hosting on, is really difficult. There's a very small percentage of businesses that actually write their websites or make their websites from code. Most of the businesses, I believe, are using WordPress. Most of the businesses are using some version of a builder. And if it is coded, it's most probably like a professionally done, using Statemic or some, the developers on the back end that are doing the work. And so, okay, fine. If you have that type of a system, if you have that type of a landing page setup or website setup, cool. Like it works. But I did some research today where I asked ChatGPT to tell me, and I asked Claude the same question. Actually, I asked Magnus the same question. I haven't reviewed the answer that Magnus gave. Magnus? Is it Magnus? I forget. Magus. Magus? I'm trying to search it now. Anyway, it's like I asked ChatGPT to help me figure out how to create an AI page builder for Shopify. Like, is it possible to take a theme from Shopify, Shopify theme, maybe Dawn that we've edited, and we give it to AI and we say, hey, please can you go update this theme with these designs, add these elements. Here's a Figma file, here's a graph, here's a Canva thing. Can we integrate these elements into the theme? And it basically said no. It's not as easy as that. It's not like we can just download the theme and then go upload something. um, and so it was disappointing because I really was hoping that I could use AI to do some of this stuff, and it wasn't possible, right? Um, if I look at what Magnus said earlier to me, it was still doing the research when I closed my laptop. So I'll go review that later on. But essentially, it was like the AI was saying, no, it's not quite possible to do that right now. And I was a little disappointed. I was a little bit sad by the fact that it said that. And that's okay. That's just part of the process. Okay. So as far as landing pages go, it's nice that it can give us designs, but we still have to translate those designs into Kajabi code or into a theme builder that we're using or into some sort of a liquid code that we can use on Shopify. It's one of those things. Okay. Then as far as AI goes as a coding buddy, I'm not a coder, but I will say I'm involved in a project where I think I mentioned this on one of my videos on the YouTube channel, where we're working on a betting system or suggestions. It's giving us suggestions for betting, and it's like, okay, which bets do we take, right? Similar to the stock market, where you say, okay, can we predict which way the market is going, buy stocks at a certain price, or buy exchange, buy US dollar at a certain rate against the Japanese yen because it's going to change. Like there's news that's going to affect it, or whatever the case may be. That's what we're trying to do with these systems. Is like, okay, there's a football match going on. Based on the history, based on the stats, what is happening? What can we expect from these teams? And essentially, what's happened is we got to the point where we can't allow the AI to think for us, to tell us to learn from itself yet. Maybe we're doing it wrong. Maybe it's because we're vibe coding it, but essentially, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry for yawning on the stream. Essentially, it's like we have um, given the algorithm, given the AI a system, workflow to develop a system, to develop a methodology, develop an algorithm to make these predictions, but then we're not asking it to think. It's like there's a bunch of rules that it needs to look at based on the numbers, based on the stats, based on a bunch of things, and it then gives us the outcome. And then only then we decide whether we want to place the bet or not. It's not like automatically giving us the bet to place. So that was the lesson that we've learned. And obviously, as days go by, things might change. But for now, that's the way that the system is working. Oh my goodness, like going live is actually very tiring. I had no idea. Okay. Yesterday, I was talking to a business owner who has a tour. They're a tour operator. In other words, they do tours here in Tanang, and they take people up to various places of Tanang for either a couple day, a couple hours, or like it's tours, right? They're doing tours. And she was saying that before ChatGPT, her team, her staff, because they're Vietnamese and they don't speak much English, were able to respond to maybe 10 messages per day, emails from inquiries from clients, potential clients, leads. And now with ChatGPT, because of its ability to very quickly give answers to to email, what her team are doing is they take the questions, put it into ChatGPT, translate, reply based on the company's history, based on their FAQ, and it they're using that to reply to customers. So they're writing a reply from ChatGPT, or sorry, ChatGPT is writing the reply, and then they're copying and pasting that reply. And she says that the customers like the ChatGPT responses better, and that she's able to now speak to, or one person is able to respond to 100 people, 100 emails, as opposed to 10. That's 10x the productivity. It's nuts. And by virtue of the fact that she's now sending out that volume of messages, there's more referrals, there's more business, the company's growing. And now she wants to focus on a bunch of other stuff like advertising and marketing, and growing the business. But this story about 10xing the amount of responses is absolutely insane. And the reason I say this is, and this has led me to this final point that I wanted to say in this live stream, is that service businesses are in a very unique position now. Because if you travel in the UK, if you travel to the US, or other parts of the world, there's a lot of automation going on. There's a lot of companies that are downsizing, getting rid of their workers, essentially human beings in key positions, or what they thought were key positions, and replacing with robots, or replacing with AI enabled machines in some way. And, like, for example, I went to the UK last year, and I went to, I think it was Morrison's, and I wanted to buy some stuff, right? Protein bars, or no, like something for my lips or whatever, just general groceries. And I had to check out myself. I had to figure out how to use the till, where to scan the things. I had to find the barcodes on all the products, and I had to pay tapping my card myself. Now, I'm not used to that, because in Thailand and Southeast Asia, other places, Vietnam as well, we are serviced. They are still human beings who are giving us the attention, who are talking to us, who are interacting with us, who's asking for a tip, or whatever the case may be. And the machines are just not as involved yet. And so my point is, I think service businesses who are able to figure out what their pricing structure is, and realize that they can charge a premium if they don't automate. Meaning, yes, automation will make things cheaper, and the companies will benefit, and they'll profit from those systems and those interactions. But the businesses that recognize that human to human contact, human interaction is still required, or human interaction is actually now going to become a feature and a benefit for customers. Customers are going to be like, "Oh my goodness, it was so good to have a real conversation with somebody while I was paying for my corn at the checkout." Like, this is the type of world that we're living in. And if you don't like what I'm saying right now, trust me, if you're in service, or if you're in a position that you potentially could be losing your job because you know that AI, or even you don't know, AI is going to replace you and take your job over, I promise you there will be jobs for you in some sort of a service related business, or service related industry, like a nail salon, or a hair salon, or a barber shop, or these places that humans have to go to, where things are just not possible yet to be automated. Like, I would not trust a Edward Scissorhands automated machine to cut my hair, right? I want a human being to cut my hair, because not that I want to speak to them or whatever. It just feels good to have another human being's hands working on my head to trim my hair. Like, it's a nice feeling. It's one of the joys that I have in my life, is going for my monthly haircut. Sometimes it's every 3 weeks, but yeah, it's one of those things that I thoroughly enjoy, because it's an adventure to find a new place to cut my hair every month, and I try to find a new place every month to cut my hair. So that's a thing that it's an activity. I turn it into an activity. And then secondly, it's when you actually interact with the person, You get to see them smiling. You get to obviously feel their touch, feel their energy. I get to talk to them a little bit sometimes and understand where they're from. Or you end up not making a friend because you're not going to keep in contact with them after, maybe. But it's like, oh wait, I'm interacting with a real person, and this person is responding to me and they're vibing with me. It's like, it's really cool. I like that about getting my haircut every month. But I would hate to order coffee from a machine, and I've done that, and I didn't like it. It just didn't feel nice. I wasn't. I didn't get the feeling that the coffee would taste better than a human being making it. Put it that way, right? Like grandma's recipe is grandma's recipe because your grandmother loves you more than anything in the world when she's making you that pie or that steak or that dessert, whatever it is that grandma used to make for you, right? It's one of those things that human beings cannot be replaced in certain key positions. Like in a restaurant, for example, yes, we can have machines bake our pizzas, but human beings still need to be involved. Now, that said, there are probably factories where these pizzas are made, like especially the frozen pizzas that you see in the supermarkets that are in the freezers. Those pizzas, I'm not sure how many humans have interacted with it. But when I go to a restaurant and I see the pizza going to the oven, there's somebody that's actually picking it up with that metal thing and rolling the dough out and putting the cheese on. That's cool. I like that. I like that there's human energy going into those ingredients to make that pizza for me. Um, so that's just my thoughts, and that's the baseline. That's the promise, is that I believe that service-based industries, and I'm in the service industry. I operate B2B, where I work with my clients to grow their businesses, to run advertising, to help them, maybe advise them on content creation. It's not my main thing, but landing pages and ads is definitely my thing. Optimization of ads and optimization of landing pages, that's my thing. That's my vibe. And so, because I'm in the service industry, I have got to work a way to keep my service at a good in a good way. And it's going to be actually very interesting because yes, landing pages are going to be automated, made in an automated way in the future. Of course, Shopify will at some point come out with a landing page builder where you can just prompt the AI or even speak to the AI and say, hey, I want this page done in this way. I want this element on this page. Here's an image, here's a video of something I saw, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to go be able to create that for you. But human beings are still going to be involved to a certain extent, I believe. And so, from a service point of view, owners may not always be involved in the direct marketing thing, but I believe that marketers do need to be educated, or business owners do need to be educated on how the marketing works and how the systems work. And they need to be up to date in terms of how do these new tools and these new systems work and function, and how can they leverage these systems and these tools to be able to give them a better return on ad spend, give them a better conversion rate, help them grow their business to a point where they actually are helping more people, right? How can this tour operator that I spoke to yesterday leverage these tools and leverage the systems that we have access to be able to help her customers, give people a really good experience here in Da Nang, because she operates mostly in Da Nang. But I reminded her that the bigger picture is, if she gets more customers flying into Da Nang because of the service that she's provided, then the economy from a tourist point of view also grows. And every single business that we are interacting with as tourists, when we come to a place, whether we are dropping money for a cup of coffee or we're dropping money for a new bag, like I literally have to go buy a new bag tomorrow because my backpack broke today while I was walking around. These interactions that we have when we travel, if the tour operator is involved in actually bringing people into the country, then she has the ability to grow the economy of the country, of the area, of the region that she lives in. It's an amazing thing. and just her local economy in terms of her team, right? Her drivers that she has in the business, in the team that she has in the office, for her personal family, obviously. As the business owner, she's taking the risk, she should get the most reward. But there are people who are helping her, the drivers, right? Everybody that's involved. It's like there's always going to be a ripple effect when a business owner grows their business, and it's going to impact a lot more things. Obviously, the impact may be less and less as as the ripple gets bigger, but if many people are causing ripples, then the entire economy grows because of that one ripple or that one thing that started. So that's the thing that I wanted to say today. That essentially is the crux of the message of this video today, is the fact that I think the service-based businesses who can leverage AI and increase their value to charge more money to provide service as a feature and a benefit, where they actually learn how to tell customers like, hey, this is human interaction, this is one-on-one, this is personal attention, this is personalized experience. Whatever wording you use, it's going to be important, and it's going to give you leverage. It's going to give you an income like you've never ever seen before. This is what I predict, and this is where I think things are going. But anyway, if you have commented in this on the stream, or if you have commented on the video that's going to stay on the channel, I appreciate you. Subscribe if you liked it. I'm going to end the stream now in the next minute or two. I appreciate you for watching. Thank you so much. And if this video is useful at all, or even if you've left the video with questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I will definitely respond to you. I look at all the comments that come on onto the channel, and of course, if there are any business related inquiries, you can go look in my bio, and you'll find a way to get in touch with me. Obviously, you can DM me on Instagram if you like as well, or just comment, and we can figure it out from there. Um, right, I'll catch you soon. I'll see you on the next live stream. I want to plan to do these fairly often, but for now, I need to end it and potentially get into bed. So enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.